Well, all right, I've got about 9 o'clock here in St. Louis, so we're going to go ahead and jump right in. I know we'll have some people coming in over these first 5 minutes, as we always do with the webinars. But for everyone that's here on time, we want to respect your time and go ahead and get moving. So thank you so much for joining us. Tonight we're going to talk about P90X, and in particular we're going to talk about the Prelude to P90X, which is sort of the 30-day preparation that I've been doing recently so I can get my body, mind, and family ready for the P90X experience. And it's the right way to bring it, is like how we like to say it. So my name is Dustin Riekman. We're going to go through some introductions here in just a second. One thing that we like to do, it's a lot of fun. If you're active on Twitter, we'd love it if you could just send a tweet out. I've got an example here. I'm learning how to get ready for P90X with a webinar with Fit Marriage. And if you just put that #FitMarriage, that hashtag, that'll let us communicate with you a little bit during the webinar, but especially hook up with you afterward. And we'd love to do that. It's one of our favorite places to hang out besides Facebook. So let's talk a little bit about the schedule tonight and what we're going to be doing. Like I said, I'll introduce myself. My business partner Tony will also be joining us a little bit here, so I'll introduce him. We're going to go ahead and talk about the P90X program, the full program, and we did a little text chatting here ahead of time. There's some people who already own it. There's some people who don't know much about it at all. So we'll go ahead and spend a good amount of time talking about P90X, what it is. Hopefully there'll be some insights there, even if you already own it. Based on my experience, I've actually been through the program. I'm on my third time. So we'll talk about my story. I've had some good, bad, and ugly experiences with the P90X based on my own preparation and experiences, and that's really what the wisdom I'm hoping to impart on you all tonight. And from that, I have some good success tips. And then I've talked a little bit in a blog post on Fit Marriage, where some of you probably came from, about this Prelude to P90X, which is basically a 30-day kind of gradual warm-up into the full program. And I'm going to share that with you this evening as well. And we'll have plenty of time at the end for question and answer. As we go along with the question and answer, we usually have a pretty active and lively text chat, so definitely go to town in there. Tony's going to be keeping an eye on that for me, because I'll be doing most of the speaking this evening. And then at the end, during the Q&A, you may have to retype in a specific question when I'm actually able to pay attention to it better. But we'd love to go ahead and have a good chat going, and I'll jump in when I can as well. So that's me on the left, Dustin. And like I said, Tony DeLorenzo, you'll see him there in the chat. Tony's currently going through a Beachbody program called Insanity. And so he doesn't have much experience with P90X, whereas that's been my mainstay program, other than the one that we developed together called Thrive 90, which I know some of you all are familiar with. So just a bit about me. I'm a almost 32-year-old guy, live in St. Louis, have 3 small children, 6, 4, and less than 1. Happily married, for just celebrating my 10th anniversary. Tony has two younger children, also happily married for I think 14 years. So marriage comes first to us. It's very important to us, and our approach to fitness is really family first. And that's a theme that you'll hear tonight. So I know that some of you have and haven't heard of P90X. Just to get you up to speed, if you somehow haven't even heard of it, it's hard to believe, and it must mean you don't have a TV, which may be a good thing. But it's sold from what the last number I saw, and I know our friend Justin is in the chat, and he probably knows more about it even than I do, but I think it's sold over 3.5 million copies. And I believe it's the most popular home fitness program of all time. It's sort of a phenomenon, and you hear about it everywhere. Tony Horton is the host and creator of the program, and you can see his muscles there in the DVDs at the bottom. Just a super charismatic guy, and makes some tough workouts a lot of fun. So he's one of the things people love about P90X. And I have from Capitol Hill to Hollywood to the Marine Corps, and there's just lots of press on P90X. I've seen a lot of things recently about congressional members, and they get together and do P90X workouts in I think it's the House Representatives gym. And then of course there's a lot of people in Hollywood who are known P90X lovers, and Tony Horton's been a trainer to the stars as well. And also a lot of military folks use P90X. So that kind of tells you across the gamut there that it's an intense program, but it meets a lot of different needs as well. So in a nutshell, it's a complete at-home fitness system that's provided amazing results for thousands of people. And it's really important that it's a system. We'll talk in detail about what's in there, but as you can see pictured, there's 12 different DVDs. This is far from a standalone, say, 30-minute DVD that you'd pick up at Walmart. This is a real deal fitness system. And the reason I said TV, I saw someone said no, TV is a good thing. That's because it's been made highly popular through infomercials. So you'll see P90X featured a lot at night, and that's where they kind of have their roots. So that's why I make the TV comment. So just an overview. As the name would imply, P90X is a 90-day program. It has 3 phases, so it's broken up into obviously 1-month phases, 3 of them, for both the workouts and the nutrition plans. It has a fitness test built in, as well as a workout calendar, which if you've heard any of our webinars on finding time for fitness and some of the features that we built into our own Thrive 90 program, you'll know that we think that's very important, and we think that's vital really to success. It's got a lot of variety, and we'll talk about the workouts a little bit, but it's built on a concept called muscle confusion, which, as it sounds, is basically keeps your body guessing. You're throwing new things at it with each workout, and with that adaptation comes great gains. It is extreme, and that's one of the things I want to touch on tonight. This isn't something that you go from sedentary and you just jump in full bore. I've made that mistake, and really one of my goals tonight is to help you, even if you're a beginner, come into this and have a lot of success, even though it is extreme. And along the lines of being extreme, it does require about an hour a day. I mean, the workouts vary from maybe 45 minutes all the way up to an hour and a half for one of them, but generally it's about an hour a day, and it is 6 days a week. And one thing I neglected to say when I was talking about an overview, so P90X is made by a company called Beachbody, and they also make Insanity, which I mentioned earlier, Shaolin Extreme, Turbo Abs. They have a lot of or Hip Hop Abs. They have a lot of programs, a lot of fitness programs. Tony and I are both independent Beachbody coaches, which means that we have used these programs, we love them, and we love to share them, basically. And we're going to talk a little more about what that means in a little while, but I wanted to throw that in as well. So you can see a listing here. These are the 12 different workouts, and I won't necessarily read them all, but you can see the variety. And these, they come into play in different places as far as the 3 different phases of workouts, but over the 90 days you'll do all these. So you have everything from more of a traditional chest and back routine, a lot of chin-ups and push-ups, all the way to something like yoga, which is obviously a lot more on flexibility and static strength, a killer core workout known as Ab Ripper X. There's a stretching routine, and so like I said here, huge variety. Every workout's very upbeat and energetic. There's music built in, and of course Tony Horton, the trainer, makes it fun. He's funny, and you kind of, if you've been through the program, you start to memorize some of the one-liners, but you are also able to mute his voice and just listen to the music once you know the workout routines really well. So strength, stamina, flexibility, fat burning, and even some self-defense. And that's number 6. There's Kempo X. That's more of a martial arts style workout, kind of a cardio, kickboxing sort of thing. That's a lot of fun. That's usually your Saturday workout, which is a little more low-key. So one of the frequently asked questions with P90X, because you have all these different routines, is what kind of equipment do I need? And you really don't need much. It's an at-home fitness program. Kind of the essentials are some sort of resistance. Particularly for beginners, a lot of people just use resistance bands. So those are the stretchy rubber tubes with handles on them. You can get those at Target for probably $15, so it's not a big investment, and they really don't take up much room at all. You could also use dumbbells. I personally have dumbbells. It's really convenient to have an adjustable set of dumbbells, so they don't take up much room. But one of the two you do need. You also need a chin-up bar. Like a lot of people, you may not be able to do a pull-up or a chin-up, but the program shows you how to adapt that, so you can build that up over time. But you do need the chin-up bar to do it. And actually, Beachbody makes a great one that fits in your doorway, doesn't damage the door frame, and obviously doesn't take up much room. So that's what a lot of people have. And we'll talk a little more about specifics on these things, but it's really all you need, other than obviously a DVD player or a computer to play a DVD in, and yourself. So that's what's really nice. There's some optional equipment that's kind of recommended. A yoga mat would be one. I definitely recommend that. Of course, I work out in my basement, and a yoga mat, you use it for yoga, but I use it for every workout because it makes it nice and soft, and it kind of has some tactile texture to it so you don't slip and things. So yoga mat's great. Again, pretty cheap. A heart rate monitor, they use those in the videos a lot. I have one. I've used it a handful of times for P90X. I've used it more for other athletic things, but it's nice to have so you can kind of get a feel for how how hard you're pushing yourself, and maybe you're pushing too hard or not hard enough on a cardio routine. And push-up stands, which are basically just kind of handlebars that you put on the ground, so when you do push-ups it doesn't hurt your wrist, and it also gives you a better range of motion. But those last three items are optional, and they do help. So we talked about the workouts, and again, if you've never heard of this, I'm going a little quick, but I want to get to the things that people who have heard about it are really curious about. So definitely feel free to ask questions as we get to the Q&A time. But the other side, and as we like to say at Fit Marriage, 80% of your success with fitness is going to be tied to your nutrition. Nutrition is vitally important, and P90X does come with a good nutrition plan. Like the workouts, it's broken out into 3 phases. And as you can see pictured here, we have the fat shredder is the first phase, energy boosters phase 2, and endurance maximizers phase 3. And those sort of correlate with the intensity and length of the workouts. So a lot of people, when they're getting started, are really trying to shed some extra weight and fat. And as you get towards the end of the 90-day cycle, you do need to have more carbs and things so that you can maximize your endurance and make it through some tough workouts. The guide that comes when you buy P90X is thorough. There's a lot of recipes in there, broken out by phase, and they do give you some calculations so you can figure out your caloric needs and how much to eat. And they give you some portion size guidance. So for a given recipe, it will let you know whether you should be, eating low, medium, high, basically. So I think it's a great start. We're going to talk a little bit later about what I've done to adapt this and make it more effective. But it is a good start, and if you don't have a good basis for nutrition at all, this is going to be a very, very valuable guide that comes with the program. So now we're going to jump a little more into my story. And this isn't to be selfish, but it's because it's what I know, and I think from talking to a lot of the Fit Marriage community, my own family members, that there are a lot of lessons to be learned from my own story. I've experienced a lot of different things in fitness and with this program, and of course with my busy family life. So the good part, the best experience I had up till now with P90X was actually about 2 years ago. I was advancing towards my 30th birthday, and I was wanting to do something special and be in good shape. So in the springtime, I found P90X. I bought it. I didn't quite complete it. I mean, I did 11 out of the 12 weeks. The reason I didn't complete it was actually I had some goals with cycling, with bicycling, and I wanted to ride 100 miles, a century, all in one ride on my 30th birthday. And so just the timing worked out. So I did quit about a week early to really prepare for the cycling. But I made this century in 105-degree heat. It felt pretty darn good, and a good way to celebrate a birthday. So what led up to that, though, was I was really preparing my body for the program. I originally bought it, I tried the fitness test that comes with it, and I didn't do very well. And wisely, I backed off and I spent a few weeks kind of doing partial workouts and working on some cardio things, and I prepared myself for it. So when I jumped back in and I redid the fitness test, I still wasn't hitting all the minimums that Beachbody recommends, but I hit enough that I felt comfortable with moving forward. And I literally achieved the best shape of my life in those 11 weeks. And so one of the other good things that came of that was now I own the program. So what's really nice about an at-home program like this is once you buy it, you own it forever. And so, I don't have ongoing gym costs. There's some recurring costs. If you have a personal trainer or a gym, the average gym cost is about $43 a month. So, in a couple months' time, you could own a premium home fitness system for the rest of your life. So that was one of the big things. I have that now to use, the same copy I bought 2 years ago. So the not so good things. I wasn't eating very well back then, so I actually achieved really good results without eating well. But that I ate a lot because I was also cycling and things, so I probably got away with a little more than I could now. I also only had I had two children then. One was a baby, so I wasn't nearly as tied up with time constraints and paying attention to my nutrition as I should have been paying attention much better. So I also didn't plug in any community back then. I just sort of flew solo, and I did okay, but that wasn't really good in hindsight. I didn't keep any records, so unfortunately I don't have like before and after photos. I think I would probably impress myself if I had those. I don't have any measurements. I did not do a good job of keeping records, and I ended up falling off track really hard. So I did well up to my 30th birthday, which was in July, and then that fall and winter I kind of got sedentary and I didn't do much at all, which leads me to the ugly was the following spring. So kind of fast forward a year, I've now become sedentary. I think mostly because my nutrition was bad and I wasn't plugged into any sort of accountability group. Just sort of doing my own thing and didn't do too well with it. So in the spring of 2010, I had a really bad experience with P90X. Not the fault of the program at all, but my own fault. I went from sedentary to, boy, I'm almost 31 now, a year later. I need to get back in shape. So I jumped right into the full program. My wife was very pregnant with our third child, so things were busy around the house, and I was stressed out with work and other things. But I jumped right in. I ended up basically getting sick in a couple weeks in. I felt burnt out, overtrained, frustrated, and little injuries. It just was not a good experience. I was not prepared mentally, physically. My family wasn't prepared for it. So this was kind of my negative experience with P90X. The good things, though, the silver lining in those clouds, that's the time that I met Tony. And I was kind of expressing to him these frustrations, like, man, I'm getting older, I don't feel like I have any energy, I can't find time to work out. And we actually created Fit Marriage. That was kind of the genesis of the whole thing, was like, we should figure this out, and we should help other busy families and busy married couples achieve fitness as a lifelong endeavor, and not this sort of cycling thing where you hit it really hard and you fall off. And we had both been through that, and we both wanted to be better and help other people be better. So that was great. I learned a lot about what not to do. So I definitely learned some mistakes that I had made. And then Avery, that's my baby girl. So she was born at kind of the height of all this madness. It actually ended up spawning some career changes, and a lot of things all happened at that time, at kind of the peak of my stress and frustration. But they're all good things in hindsight. So some of the things I learned. Preparing the right way. So to me, there's three areas. Most people only think of preparing your body, and I think you also need to prepare your mind and your family. So if you have a wife or children, your family has to be on board to make this work. So as far as the body goes, you need to start from where you're at and not overreach. You need to build up gradually but progressively, and you need to identify your weaknesses and work on correcting them. And that's what the Prelude program does, that I'm going to share with you in a little while. As far as your mind goes, I've learned since then that it's vitally important to be plugged into some sort of community. So people who are doing similar things, who have similar challenges, it's vital. And whenever you have the chance for free coaching, so whenever you buy a product from Beachbody, one of the awesome things about it is you're assigned a coach for free. So you have a coach there who, if they're a good coach and you make the connection, can help you along the way. And so that's the reason Tony and I have become independent Beachbody coaches, because we're like, well, this is great. It was a way to share with people some great programs, and then we can serve as coaches to them, and it's a win-win because it's free to the people who sign up. It's sort of included in the cost of all their programs, although a lot of people don't realize that. So definitely encourage people to take advantage of free coaching with a high-quality coach when they can get that. And developing a fitness mindset. That's everything from, a lot of times we'll get into this deal where, well, if I'm working out hard, then I can eat whatever I want. But the fitness mindset it's a lifestyle choice. It's no longer a I'm dieting for 3 weeks choice. So there's not a lot of big ups and downs. It's more of a level thing. You become a fit person and you feel healthy and well, and that kind of dominates your thinking when it comes to what you eat and your activity. So developing a fitness mindset is vital as well. And that's really served by being in the right community, and if you have a coach, that can be helpful too. And your family. So probably most important of all, at least to me, is approaching this with your family on your side. And a lot of that has to do with your schedule, because these workouts take a while. You're going to have to find a time that works for your family. And like the body preparation, I think it's really important to ease into that. So what you'll see in Prelude, it's 3 days a week of these types of workouts, not 6 to start, and that kind of helps you get used to getting up early. If you're getting up early, it helps your spouse get comfortable with what you're doing, and so your schedule, to ease into that's important. Having healthy boundaries and expectations is vital too. Some people kind of go crazy with some of these fitness programs to the detriment of their family, and on the flip side, sometimes you get a little lazy and you use family as an excuse to not be fit. And there's a healthy balance there to be achieved. And so finding that right boundary between fitness and family and having the right expectations among your wife and kids or husband and kids is very, very important. It can derail you quickly if you don't have that. So what is the prelude to P90X? Well, it's kind of a 30-day build-up where we're doing shorter workouts. Most of them are 30 minutes or less, particularly at the beginning. In the first week or so, it's a 3-day week commitment, and then right there towards the end, when you're almost ready for P90X, you're up to 5 days a week. It's a progressive build, and it does utilize the P90X program and nutrition plan. So this isn't something I'm just creating out of thin air. This is basically an adaptation using P90X and using portions of it in a way that I've found to be very healthy and progressive, and let me get sore, but not so sore that I can't walk. It's that sort of thing, and build up over a course of 30 days, so that on day 30, you're ready to start day 1 of the full P90X program and just rock it and feel great and get some really extreme results with P90X the way it's intended. And what's cool and what I've experienced, which I'm going to share here, is that even during these 30 days, this isn't wasted time. This is you can get great results even during the 30 days, particularly if you're going from a sedentary lifestyle to picking up this kind of lifestyle. And I feel it's very, very sustainable. So excited about that. So one thing, the rest of the presentation here is going to be focused a lot on these 30 days. And I think the vast majority of people can make this happen in 30 days. If you're very, very overweight, if you have any kind of health problem, it goes without saying, it should, but I'll say it anyway, you definitely need to check with your doctor, no matter how healthy you are. I have to throw out the disclaimer that you should check with your doctor before starting any program. But if you feel like you're really not in good shape, you have some kind of problem, especially with like weight or diabetes or something, and you need more than 30 days, you need a slower build, then there's other programs that I would recommend instead of doing this 30-day prelude. And that would be something, there's a program called Power 90, which is actually the precursor to P90X. It's similar to P90X, but it's certainly less intense, and it's a 90-day program that you can build up to. And I've mentioned a few times that Tony and I developed our own fitness program, and it's been pretty popular. We sort of target it towards busy couples, but certainly a lot of individuals have enjoyed it. It's a 90-day program, and it's kind of similar in its structure to P90X, but it's again less intense. So that either of those programs might be a great start for you if you don't think 30 days is going to be enough to get ready. So briefly, the way the Prelude program breaks out, in week 1 you actually don't need the DVDs, and the reason I did that was because most people they're going to purchase P90X, and then it's going to take about a week to get to their house because it has to ship in the mail. And so rather than losing the fire and just not doing anything for a week, the first week I just make it where you don't need any DVDs. It's a lot of walking and interval training, push-ups and squats, real basic things. You don't need DVDs at all. And then weeks 2 and 3, now you've got your P90X program. I basically pull out certain workouts from P90X that I think are great to get started with. And so like say the chest and back DVD, and then we'll take portions of that DVD. So it's not the full 60-minute workout. It may be 20 and then 30 and 40. But we do portions of the workouts, and that way you can build up gradually like we talked about. So in weeks 2 and 3 you're doing effectively 4 workouts, although the fourth one's just kind of a free cardio session, so you might be walking or jogging or cycling, but just 3 of the DVDs. And then in that final week where you're getting close to starting P90X, we pull in most of the DVDs. So in this case, chest and back, plyometrics, which is jump training, arms and shoulders, the yoga, and legs and back. But again, none of these are the full length, because that's what you're doing effectively in week 5, when you start P90X. But in week 4, these are still more brief, but it gets you used to, it gets a week under your belt of just working out almost every day and kind of hitting chest one day and then legs and then back, so that your body can start adapting to that. So that's really the Prelude in a nutshell. There's obviously some more specifics, and those need to be broken down in the form of a calendar for you. So I've got that, and I've got a calendar that shows exactly the progression that I recommend and what I've used. It shows you what workouts to do and when to do them. It has some good tips in there, and then recommended equipment. So things like the chin-up bar, like which one should you get? Should you get a yoga mat, and if so, which one? That sort of thing. So what we're going to do, and you don't have to worry about this right now, at the end I'm going to kind of repeat this. I'm going to go through some before and after photos and a few other things here. But and then at the end I'm going to show you how to get the Prelude blueprint. It's all free. This is something I'm doing as a service for people that have me as a free Beachbody coach. But if you want to go ahead and get a sneak peek, this is what we're going to be telling you in a few minutes at the end. And for those of you that came from Fit Marriage, you're probably not even aware. We just created a new site to kind of highlight all these things. It's called Team Fit Marriage. So when you go to teamfitmarriage.com, you'll see lots and lots of information about Beachbody, this program, nutrition programs, lots of great stuff. So we're really looking for that to be a good resource for people who are interested in Beachbody. So all you have to do is join our team, and again, I'll explain that in a few minutes, but it's basically a couple clicks of the mouse. You'll join our Team Fit Marriage team. There's 3 of us. There's myself, Tony, and Tony's wife, Elisa, and you can join with any of the 3 of us, and we kind of all have our own backgrounds and strengths. I'm kind of the P90X expert, so it may make sense to make me your coach if you're looking at P90X. But if you're more comfortable with the woman, or you like endurance training, or maybe you want to jump to insanity, then maybe Tony or Elisa would be the right person. And we have our photos and some descriptions about us there. And so you can join our team for free. Once you join our team, you just shoot me an email, Dustin@fitmarriage.com, and I will reply to that email with the Prelude program. So it's really that simple. So moving forward, the scary part of the presentation this evening, as you can see, the photo on the left is when I started, and I'm actually only in my first, I'm kind of at I guess I'm starting my second full week of P90X. So these photos were just taken about a month ago and then about a week ago. So the dreaded before and after photos, I wanted to go ahead and do this because I definitely plan on having a day 120, which is the after P90X photo, and I expect it to be an awesome photo that I'll be very proud to display. But in the meantime, I have these. And so day 1, you can see, I'm not in terrible shape, certainly not in the worst shape of my life, but not in the best. Been a little bit more sedentary than I should. So you can see the love handles, and one of the things that I can appreciate looking at this photo is my face. You can definitely see where I lost some weight in the face, which is nice. So that's the front photo. Side, you can kind of see a little more, maybe a little more muscle definition. Again, face is a little thinner, a little less belly fat as far as the photo goes. And this is just 30 days. So the awesome farmer's tan in the Midwest. But I think from the back you can kind of see a little more dramatic difference in my waistline. I've definitely lost some fat. And my wife tells me that it's noticeable in just the way that I carry myself, which is kind of interesting because in this photo you can kind of see a difference in posture. And I'm certainly not posing for these photos. This is sort of a natural posture. So I think with fitness and with feeling good about yourself comes better posture, and that makes you look better as well. So those are the photos just from the past 30 days. And again, this is like a 3 to 5 day workout, or week, days a week workout, just 30 minutes or less. Every workout I've done has been 30 minutes or less, and I'm very, very happy with those results. I've lost just a hair over 10 pounds in 30 days. I've lost 2 inches off my waist, and to me that's huge. So out of all the stats, the photos aside, that's where the money's at for me. I love seeing that. I can tell a dramatic difference in the way my pants fit. Feel much better about myself going to the pool with the kids and that sort of thing, just in 30 days. So I've lost a little over an inch off my hips, my thigh. I have some big legs. The thighs shrunk a little, and the arms grown a little. So that's good. That means I'm gaining some muscle as I'm losing some fat. So what I'm excited about, and hopefully I'll do another webinar, on day 120, so 90 days from a week ago, I really want to get out there in the public and show people the power of P90X when you prepare the right way for it. So those are my actual results. And so I guess the keys to success that I've taken away from this, and we'll go into a little more detail in just a second, but I think if you follow this Prelude blueprint for the workouts, that you can start from pretty basic and get where you want to be in 90 days, or in 30 days rather, so you can prepare for P90X. I did those workouts. I've been kind of sore for 30 days, but nothing too extreme. And during that first full week of P90X, I know the last 2 times I did it, I couldn't walk. I felt terrible. I was so sore. And I'm not feeling that way. I'm definitely feeling sore, but in a healthy way that I know I'm improving. So I'm really proud of the blueprint and the success that I've seen with it. I also found that it's very key to communicate with your spouse. Now, my wife doesn't like to do these workouts. She likes to run. That's fine. But she supports me, and I communicate with her. She knows that each morning I'm getting up early from usually about 5:45 to 6:45, and I'm going to be working out. And usually everyone's asleep then. It's not an issue. But she knows that's my time. So if the alarm goes off and I don't get up, she might nudge me a little bit and say, you need to get down there. And that's great. And we have that healthy communication about my fitness goals and about her fitness goals, and it makes it a lot more sustainable. Measure and photograph. So I didn't do that the first couple times around. That's something I'm taking a lot of pride in now. Now that I'm plugged into the Beachbody community, I know a lot more the value of that. I have those photos that you just saw to motivate me. I don't want to see my fat back the next presentation I do. I want to show a muscular back and lose those love handles. So that's a lot of good motivation. And of course, seeing 2 inches off my waist fires me up and gets me up every morning to work out, because I know I'm getting results, and that means everything. Again, I now have a Beachbody coach, and I know who they are, which is great. I didn't have that before. I didn't even realize when I bought P90X that it came with a coach, but it does. And if you find the right coach, they're going to be in your corner, and they may have some tips to share along the way. But more than anything, they'll be there when you have questions, and they'll be there to hold you accountable. So definitely get your free Beachbody coach. Hopefully that's me or Tony or Elisa, because I'm very passionate, and I'm definitely going to help you. But regardless of who it is, get one, and as long as they're treating you the right way, take advantage of that. Plug into a community. I'm going to share the communities that I'm plugged into, but one community is Fit Marriage itself. A very active Facebook page. We're doing a lot of things on the blog, and now with Team Fit Marriage, we'll have some more resources. But it just helps. It just helps so much to have like-minded people around, even if it's an online community that's always there for you 24/7. And then, of course, eat sensibly. I don't eat crazy good. I follow the 80-20 rule, where I eat good 80% of the time, but I allow myself to not eat so well 20% of the time. Whether it's a cheat day in a given week, or whether it's a cheat meal in a given day, I think that's vitally important to eat sensibly and have that fitness mindset. And then I'm going to share a little more about a Beachbody product called Shakeology. It's a meal replacement shake. But before I do that, you saw I lost 10 pounds. And what's important though, I lost like 7 of those in the first week, right out of the gate. And what I was doing was eating a slow carb diet, which not really low carb, it's not really Atkins, it's not really a paleo diet. I saw someone in the chat hit up the paleo. It's similar though. The idea is you don't eat a lot of high glycemic carbs, so basically a lot of sugar, no white foods is a simple way to say it. So I did that. I did that for 2 weeks. First week, big loss. Of course, that comes with getting rehydrated and cutting out carbs. Second week, not much progress. I was like, I don't know if this is sustainable for me. I want to I want to do something very sustainable. That's my big key word with all this. So I decided I'm going to more follow just the P90X program. So I started looking at that, and what I realized then was that there's a community, or one of the benefits of the Team Beachbody community, they actually have a custom meal planning deal where you can get in there and pick individual meals, and they suggest things for you, so it's not overwhelming at all, based on your caloric needs and your workouts. And I've been using that, and that's awesome. So that allows me to eat sensibly, and I can plan ahead if I want to have pizza, But then this Shakeology thing, I just started doing this 2 weeks ago, and so I actually lost 7 pounds. I gained about a pound, and then I lost whatever the net of that is, like 4 pounds, since I started Shakeology. And so Tony actually shared with me about Shakeology. He and Elisa have always done like protein shakes, and they were talking about how delicious this thing was. And I've done some protein shakes, but it wasn't like my thing. And so they're like, you should try it. So I was like, I'll try it. And it's actually not a protein shake. In this case, it's a meal replacement shake, but it's just super, super nutritious. So about every healthy vitamin, fruit, vegetable, herb, greens, all that stuff that you can think of is in here. They went around the world and got over 100 ingredients from all the best things, and they created a shake out of it. So it's super healthy, and you can see there's a URL there. If you just go to shakeology.com/fitmarriage, that's actually, you'll see Tony's picture, so you'll know you're in the right place. That's got all the details. Okay, so lots and lots of stuff, all the doctor's information, all the nutrition facts. So you can go there to get the details. If you go to teamfitmarriage.com, again, you'll see a link to Shakeology. So again, you can find all the details. But what I really wanted to share here, it's low calorie. It's a meal replacement. It's only 180 calories, and it is low glycemic. So that means if you are doing something like slow carb, I'm not sure about paleo because I'm not an expert on that, but something like slow carb, this is fine because this doesn't act like sugar. This acts like a very slow burning carbohydrate, the carbs that are in there. It comes in 2 flavors. They're coming out with the 3rd flavor, I think, this winter, called Tropical. But right now there's chocolate and there's green berry. And I bought a pack where I got some of each, and they're both just awesome. So it's probably it's like drinking. It's better than like going to Dairy Queen and getting a milkshake. It's a very, very rich, delicious chocolate, and then the green berry is more of a mixed berry taste. So you can drink them. I've been drinking them a lot of mornings just with water, and they're awesome. I don't have to put anything else in there. If I'm looking for a little more protein, I might put some low-fat milk in there. With the green berry especially, I'll mix in some strawberries or bananas, something else, just to give it a little more different flavor. But man, I go on and on to these about my friends because they're so good. They're so delicious, and so they're super fast, easy, and mobile. You can just shake this thing up. I got a little Oster, like a little personal blender for $15. I just zip that thing in there if I want to put some fruit in with it. It takes me like 2 minutes in the morning, and I have the blender comes with a to-go cup. I take that thing with me head out the door, and I have no excuse to skip breakfast. And I'll talk on the next slide about my own experiences and how I've used this, but it's great. And so you can just go buy it. You can buy it. It comes in a 30-day pack basically. But if you do want to buy it, I would highly suggest you enroll in what they call Home Direct, which it basically is like an auto ship program. So once you buy a 30-day supply, if you don't do anything, they'll send you the next 30-day supply and charge you for it. So obviously Beachbody's looking to keep you buying this if you like it. It's really impressive. They have an over 70% retention rate, meaning people month after month really like it, and they find it a valuable part of their lifestyle. But the reason you want to do that is because you get free shipping, and you also get bonuses, like they give you some free workouts and a shaker cup, and they actually right now are giving a book away about nutrition and some of the nutrients that are in these shakes. So definitely do Home Direct, and then if you get it and you're like, I don't want to do this next month, then just cancel it. There's no harm in canceling, but you definitely want to take advantage of the free shipping. So shakeology.com/fitmarriage for the details. So the last 2 weeks, what I've been doing with Shakeology, I use it for my breakfast. So I used to eat cold cereal, processed food, and then when I was doing the slow carb for a week or two, I was getting up making huge omelets and sausage and stuff, which was tasted great and it kept me full, but it took like half an hour, and then it was a big mess, and I had to sit down and eat it at the table before I could leave. It wasn't working very well. So now I'm doing this, and so I get up, I get done with my workout, I come upstairs, I usually take a shower first, I pop this into the blender or a shaker cup, and it takes me like less than 5 minutes, and I can drink it in the car, and I'm on my way, you know. And it is like a perfect meal. So like, again, if you want something a little more hearty, you can like throw some fruit or some peanut butter in there with it. It comes with 60 or so recipes, and that way I know I'm getting at least one just great meal every day with no effort. And so I saw the question about cost, so I will definitely hit that here in a second. And a lot of people eat it instead for lunch, or if you're trying to really bulk up, you might eat it as more like a snack rather than a meal replacement. But what I've noticed in 2 weeks is I definitely feel full of energy. I put a little video post on Fit Marriage the second day I had one of these, where I left the house and forgot to bring coffee with me, and it got to be about 11 o'clock, and I realized I hadn't drank coffee, and I didn't have a headache, and I wasn't feeling tired, and it was the first time I hadn't had a cup of coffee in probably 10 years. And you know, I just felt good, and I didn't even think about it. Without getting any details, I will say my digestion has definitely improved, which is great. More regularity, and I don't have any cravings. So usually I eat this about 7:30 in the morning, and I'm just cool till lunch. I'm not hungry. It's not. I've had people bring in donuts at work, and it hasn't really bothered me. I don't have those kind of sugary cravings like I used to have eating breakfast cereal. And I think those 2 weeks were a big part of the fat loss that you saw in the photos. I lost a lot of water weight week 1, but there was a bounce back in my weight, which indicates that it wasn't fat, and you don't lose fat that quickly anyway. I think in the last 2 weeks is when I've seen most of my gains, so very happy with that. So I wanted to wait till this page before I talked about cost. So this is what I would recommend, and you don't have to do any of this. This webinar was free and open, and we'll have this available as a replay for people. I want to help you achieve some good results. But what I would say, if you really want to have the most success based on all the experiences I've had and talking to other folks who have done P90X, is, for one, to go ahead and join Team Fit Marriage. I'll show you again on the slide here in a second how to do that. But it's really easy. It doesn't cost you anything. There's no obligations. All that does is it means that one of us is your coach, and that way, if you have questions, you'll know how to contact us. We can contact you. And in open transparency here, what that also means is if you ever did buy anything in the future from Beachbody, then we get a small commission, sort of a helper's fee, because the cost of coaching is included in every product. But we take that commitment very seriously, and we want to actually help you, with that small investment. So that's our incentive, that and getting to help more people, which is the whole idea behind Fit Marriage. So please join our team. Of course, you want to purchase P90X if you don't already own it. You'll need it to do the Prelude, because again, the DVDs are what the Prelude is made out of. And 3, 4, and 5. So obviously, I'm a pretty big proponent now of starting Shakeology. And like I said earlier, I did the home direct because I was like, well, it's free shipping and I get some free bonus things, and I can just cancel it as soon as I get it, and that's it. It's not like they're going to charge you anymore. So I would suggest trying it out. One thing I'd like to do, and we can't make this available just to anyone, but the package I bought came with some sample packs. If you're very serious about it and you're going to buy it, you just want to know what it tastes like just to make sure, then you can contact me and I'll get you a free sample. It's basically, I'm buying the sample for you and paying for shipping, so only do it if you're very serious. But if you are, then you can contact me, and that way, I think once you taste the chocolate one in particular, if you like chocolate, you'll be a believer that it's something you could do every day. So as far as costs go, so P90X cost about $120. Shakeology for a month's supply is just a little less than that. But there's 2 things that you can do to save money on all these things. So one thing I would recommend that I got plugged into was joining the Team Beachbody Club, and that's sort of their online membership site. It's only it's less than $3 a week. You pay it quarterly, and that's where the custom meal planner is. That's the reason I enrolled in it. So you can get in there and customize your meals, and it automatically does all the calories and the grocery list and all that. So as a meal planning service, it's very valuable. It's also got a lot of great online support. So that's got good forums. You talk to trainers, and there's a lot of other people that are enrolled, and you can talk to each other. You can also invite people to work out with you virtually. So they have a Wowie workout system where you can kind of log in and put your workouts in and encourage each other. So it's a great place to virtually have some fitness groups going. But the other thing it does is it gives you a 10% discount on your purchases. So if you're going to buy Shakeology or you're going to buy P90X, you actually save money by enrolling in this for a quarter at least, or a quarter meaning 3 months, because you're getting 10% off. The other thing that you can do at a higher, these are either, or you can be a Team Beachbody Club member and get 10% off. If you're a coach, you get 25% off. If you're both, you do not get 35%, so these don't add together. But if you become a coach, there's a small fee per month for the coaching. It's like $15. That gets you like your website and all the kind of business management tools. So it's pretty darn affordable. It's cheaper than running your own website. But what that also does is it gives you 25% off on all Beachbody products. So for me to buy Shakeology, I think it's just shy of $90 a month, which kind of sounds like a lot, but it's like $3 a day, and so it's $3. It's cheaper than getting some Egg McMuffins at McDonald's as an example, because it replaces a meal. So it's not like it's an additive thing. You're taking out money out of your grocery budget to instead do this for your meals. So I found it to be at least a wash. I mean, maybe even be a cost savings versus eggs and milk and sausage, all the things I was eating for breakfast anyway. So it's about $90 for me a month because I'm a coach. And a lot of people will join and become a coach simply to get the discounts. If they're going to buy a fitness program, it saves you like $30 on P90X right off the top. And it only costs you, there's a startup fee, I think it's around $35, and then it's $15 a month after that. So again, you can join just for the savings. And if you're going to do Shakeology and you like it and you find that it's helpful to your lifestyle, it makes a lot of sense to become a coach, because you're paying $15 a month to save $30 on Shakeology. So again, there's something to think about. Again, you don't have to do any of these things, but someone asked about cost, and that's the way I've looked at it. And becoming a coach, you can make money, because again, you're now other people's coaches, and if they buy products, you get 25% commission. You also have a lot of accountability. Whenever you're on a webinar showing people shirtless photos, I'll definitely be getting up tomorrow to do my workout, because I want to come back and be proud to show you guys in 90 more days what I've done. So to kind of recap here before we get into the Q&A, what I'm gonna do at the Prelude program, it's totally free, no strings attached, but in order to get access to it, this is all you have to do. Again, it's all free. Just go to teamfitmarriage.com. We really want to have some people come over and check it out. It's a brand new site. There are some things in there that there might be a broken link or something might not quite read right, because we just got it together. But definitely check it out. I think there's a lot of good information there. While you're there, I will show you on the next page. This is our home page. This is exactly what you'll see when you show up. See the big red arrow? It says join our team. It's free. When you click on that, it'll take you to a page that explains exactly how to join our team. And what it will do is it'll show you my name, and then Elisa, who's in the middle there, Tony's wife, and then Tony. It'll give a little description about us, and you can choose which one of us you want to be your coach. And there'll be a link. You click on it, and it just takes you to the Beachbody site, and fills in your first and last name and a login information, and it's free. So you have a free Beachbody account. Now, if you've already bought P90X or you've already bought any product from Beachbody, then you already have an account. So if you have ever logged into the Beachbody site for anything, you already have an account. What's interesting is if you have an account, you already have a coach, because every account comes with a coach. There's a very good chance that you don't know your coach, maybe they haven't been helpful, but you can switch coaches to us. And again, the instructions are on that page when you click join our team. It's a one-sentence email that you send to the Beachbody support, and they'll switch you over to the coach that you want. So you can definitely do that. But again, if you've already got an account set up there, you won't by default be our coach. You have to actually switch to us, which is, again, not a big deal. So all you got to do, go join the team. and then you'll see my email address right there. I'm going to leave it up here as we do Q&A. Dustin@fitmarriage.com. Just shoot me an email and say, hey man, I joined your Team Fit Marriage team. I want you guys to be my coach. Send me the Prelude program, and I'll send you the Prelude program. It'll be a PDF file and be nice and easy for you. And then of course I'll be there for answering any questions that you have along the way and supporting you, because that's what we're all about. So I'm going to drink of water here, and we can start doing some Q&A. And so I'm going to pay a little better attention now to the chat box. I'm not sure what all has been coming in, and Tony can maybe recap in there for me. And then if there's any questions, if you have a question for Tony, or maybe you're curious about Elise's experiences with Shakeology, or his Insanity program, his fitness program, Tony's on too. We can't both talk, so what I'll do is switch over to him if a question comes up for Tony. But in the meantime, you can hit me up with any questions you have, and I'm going to switch the slide here so you can see our contact information. So you'll see my email, Tony's email is just the same, Tony@fitmarriage.com. If you hit us up on Facebook, very, very easy way to get a hold of both of us. And again, just teamfitmarriage.com, very easy place to go join our team and become part of our Beachbody club. We'd love to have you there. And yeah, so I see the one question Tony answered is, and I'm going to repeat this for people who maybe watch the replay and don't have access to the chat. Can I join Team Fit Marriage even if I'm not ready to start yet? And can we have one of you as a coach even if we already own it? And like I said, definitely. So you can sign up with us. It's free. And then if you've already owned it and you bought it from Beachbody, then you'll have to switch. But all the instructions are on that Join Our Team page. Very simple. And one note I'd like to add, I've had friends who have bought the bootleg copies of P90X. You can get on Craigslist and buy one for maybe $60. And I would definitely advise not to do that. Obviously, you don't get a coach assigned. You don't get all the support. But what has happened in every single case that I'm aware of is that the DVDs don't work well, and they skip. And they may not skip the first week, but then by like the third week, because they're all reproductions, they skip, and then it's worthless. And it doesn't usually come with the nutrition guide or the fitness guide or the calendar or all the other bonuses that you get. So it's definitely worth the extra money to go ahead and buy it legitimately. Even the support alone is worth it. And then if you do have a DVD that's scratched, you can send it back, and Beachbody will either refund or replace it. If you're buying a bootleg, you obviously don't have any connection to anything. So I would definitely recommend buying the real deal if you're interested in P90X or any of the programs. There's a lot of value in it. Ah, yes. Thank you, Darren. P90X too. Yeah, it's they just had a big summit last week where they're kind of announcing all the new things. And I talked about there's going to be a tropical flavored Shakeology coming out this winter. People are really excited about that. But P90X too, I think their goal, it's already filmed, but it's got a lot of production. So their goal is to allow pre-orders in like August, but then the actual DVDs will not ship till around December, likely just in time for Christmas. So what I would say, and P90X2 is really intended to be an extension of P90X. You could do two without doing one, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense. So what I would recommend, now is a perfect time to do the standard P90X, and then you'll be ready for P90X2 when it comes out. P90X2 is a little more sports performance based. There's a little more things like stability balls and dynamic movements. It's just an extension of the muscle confusion concept, but it looks really awesome. There's some good trailers out there. I think we put one up on the Fit Marriage fan Facebook page the other day. So yeah, coming out this winter. Tony, I am a bellman at a large hotel and walk 48 miles a day and lift 50-pound bags. What are your thoughts about how it might affect my diet or workouts? Well, I'd say if that's your standard lifestyle, so that's something that your body's become accustomed to, I think you have a little higher caloric needs. You'll need to eat a little more to gain muscle because you're expending calories day to day, but your body adapts pretty quickly. So I think if you're a bellman day in and day out, that you've probably kind of hit a plateau, and there's a reason why you can get these very active people, these construction workers, firemen, and they're still overweight. It's because your body kind of metabolism settles at that. So I think it'll be wise for you to go ahead and add some fitness into that. But it's great to have that as a starting point versus being a sedentary desk worker. You'll probably be a lot closer to ready to go, Tony. Patricia, did I create the Prelude? I did create it, and as far as I'm concerned, it'll always be free. I created it for myself, and then when I saw how effective it was, and I told Tony about it, we're like, we should share this with people. And of course, the way we're sharing it here, it kind of necessitates a separate separate email to get it, but it also allows people to join our team, which is something that we're very enthusiastic about. So that's why you have to join the team and then shoot me an email to get it. But yeah, hopefully it'll always be free. Let's see here. See if I missed anything else. Has Tony done P90X? Yeah, Tony, as he just answered, he has not. I'm trying to talk him into it. I think Tony needs some more upper body strength, but he's loving Insanity. So Tony's plans are to finish Insanity. I think he's a little over halfway through. That's a 60-day program. He's seeing some amazing results with it, and then he's gonna do the extension of that, which is called Insanity: The Asylum. And then the hope is that we'll both be doing P90X2 this winter together, along with a big group of people. So I'm hoping that people who get through P90X this fall with us will then be able to jump in and we can do a big group deal with P90X2 and have a lot of fun with that. Okay, I know looks like we're about 65 minutes. I don't want to miss any questions. I'm scrolling up quickly. I know that Tony's probably answered most of these. Thank you for the compliments on my photos and not making fun of me. I appreciate that. Looks like that's about it. So, well, thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to, when I stop this presentation, it will actually automatically take your website over to teamfitmarriage.com. So if you want to just hang on for a minute, I'll do that, and that way it's easy for you to find. And if you want to go ahead and join the team, click join our team, and then just select myself, Tony, or Elisa as your coach, and we'll be in touch that way. And then make sure you shoot me an email if you want the Prelude, because we have lots of people joining our team, and I won't know which ones of you came from the webinar unless you shoot me an email. So Dustin at fitmarriage.com. Thanks a lot.